is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
That is me. I am your host, Jeremy Lee. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Fanatics Collect weekly hockey auction-ending watch party. It is February the 16th, and I am frozen. Am I frozen? Oh, my goodness. What is going on here? Josh, am I frozen? I'm going to have to start this over again. What is going on? I can't tell if you can see me right now. I am frozen for myself, so I'm going to go look on YouTube and see if I am frozen there too. And if I am, we are going to start this thing over again. But in the meantime, I need to go see what's going on because I can't tell right now. So let me see. Can you hear me? But in the meantime, you can. I need to go see what's going on. Okay. I can't tell right now. So let me see. All right. Can I even share my screen? No. So I am going to have to leave and come back. Refresh. All right. Josh, are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You could hear me the whole, yeah. I was frozen on my screen completely, so I don't know what happened, but yeah, you guys are telling me that I was good, but I was looking at a frozen screen, so I am back. Okay, Josh, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I am good, thanks. Crazy hockey game last night.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch did you watch it in its entirety?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, it's a little easier for me to say this being on the winning side, but I think it was one of the most compelling games of any sport I've watched in a long, long time.
I got to see the first two periods, and then I had to do my show. Got to do my show. In a way, I'm kind of glad I missed that last period because it didn't work out well for the Canadians. But congratulations to you and all of our American hockey fan friends and supporters. Listen, I wanted Team Canada to win. I'm a Canadian. I've been cheering for Team Canada my whole life, but I'm not one of these guys that can't say congratulations to the opposing side. And I mean it. I really do. There is still tournament left, and maybe we'll get a rematch. If we do, then we'll see what happens. If we don't, then if Team USA goes on and wins this thing, I'm going to be very congratulatory to them and to you guys. But what Josh, you and I talked, and I'd said, this tournament, I don't know if I'm going to care too much about it because, it's incomplete. There's no Team Russia. There's no Czechs or Slovaks. There's no Germany. It's only 4 nations. So is it really applicable? There's no Ovechkin. There's no Draisaitl, and then I realized that, and I was thinking to myself, are the players going to really care about it? It became so clear to me at the beginning of this whole tournament that they, in fact, do care, maybe more so than they care about playing for their NHL teams. They seem to be so into it. And that's the start of that game yesterday was just crazy. 3 fights in the first 3 seconds. And usually I'm like, you know what? I don't need to see fighting in hockey. I want to see hockey when I watch hockey. But that certainly set the tone and was just I don't want to say, I mean, I said it on somewhere on IG. It's like, is that the best start to a hockey game ever? Maybe it was the best start to a boxing match ever, but that was and it was still an incredible start, setting the pace and sending the message to both teams that they care about this tournament and this game. So just some of my thoughts on that. Anything from you before we jump into the cards tonight?
Yeah, I just thought it was electric. And when you look at some of the post-game quotes from a guy like Jake Gensel, who obviously had a good game last night, he said that the atmosphere was more electric than a Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, that's big words.
Huge words coming out of that. My favorite part was, and I'm not throwing shade here, it's just I think given the context of what was the series NHL face-off? Was that where you had McDavid kind of blowing up in the locker room. Well, first of all, his goal last night was ridiculous.
Beautiful.
Unreal. I mean, it was insane, right? He's the only player in the world that can do that. But at the end of the game, they gave 3 stars and they brought out Serge Savard and somebody else. And when they named him 3rd star, you should have seen the look on his face. Like, oh my God, why? You know,
He didn't want it, right?
no. You know, it's like being named the Conn Smythe after losing the Stanley Cup Finals, right?
Just leave me alone.
Yeah, he was not happy with that.
I don't mean to be that good, you know. Yeah.
But when he had and it wasn't just the fights, you had Charlie McAvoy creamed McDavid a couple of times. You had Sam Bennett out there for Canada dishing it out as well. It was a rough game.
Yeah. Well, so I guess if Canada beats Finland on Thursday, then we get a Canada-US rematch is my understanding. And I haven't studied the format of this tournament, but that's what I've been told. If that's the case, Thursday is going to be another fun night while I'm doing the Fanatics Collect premiere auction. So I'll have to be, I'll have to record it. I did record the game last night too, in case it was going to come down to a nail biter, but it did, but it didn't really at the same time. So, let's say hello to the professor is here. Good evening, Laura. Good evening, Mark Santucci. Good evening to you. Linda's first son, Michael. How are you? Tampa Home Investors. Nice to see you again. Jeff McMahon. Good to see ya. Kevin Hawthorne. I'm not frozen. Thank you. How to study physics. Watch the Daytona 500. No doubt. Thank you guys for all that. Appreciate it. Louis, what a gong show. I'm just trying to take after the gong show guys, although that was a legit gong show here tonight, earlier on the show. Tampa didn't get to see the game, but the highlights were unreal. Epic. It certainly was. Stuart Bridgman says it was the best game I've ever watched, regardless of the sport. The start of the game gave me goosebumps. Yeah, I mean, that's so cool to hear. And nice to see you here, Stuart Bridgman. Matt Fox, what's up, buddy? How are you doing? Tampa says the start of the game proved they care. Yeah, exactly. And was amazing. Brett S., good evening to you. Jay-Z, what's going on? Doghouse, what's going on with you? Jay-Z says the biggest card I've ever gone after is completing tonight. Make sure you use the affiliate code, please. Jay-Z, guys, the Sports Cards Live affiliate code is pinned to the top of the chat on YouTube. If you're big on any cards tonight, I humbly ask that you click on that link first and then go do your bidding. That will earn Sports Cards Live a small but meaningful commission. And I'm grateful for that very much. Jay-Z, good luck to you on that purchase for sure. Linda says something about playing in Montreal. Those fans know their hockey. Definitely. Jay-Z, it's a Judge Black refractor. It's near my top budget, but I have my fingers crossed. Oh, yeah, you mentioned that to me, Jay-Z. Well, good luck with that. What game is tomorrow? Oh, that's the Canada-Finland game, I guess, is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, Canada-Finland's tomorrow.
Right on. Yeah, mark my words, Canada's going to crush Finland tomorrow. I think they will after losing to the U.S. They're going to be very, very hungry. Luongo Collector, good evening to you. Chad Belaney, welcome to the show. Tom Trash, what's going on, Tom? You always do. I appreciate you, Jay-Z. Thank you for using the SCL affiliate code. If you are bidding on any cards tonight, guys, again, it is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. If you're watching on Instagram, feel free to come over to YouTube. That is where the action truly is. Josh, are we ready to look at some cards?
Do it.
All right, guys. We don't have that many tonight. I think we have only 26 cards that we have noted to look at. And we're going to start with some 1924. A 1924 Champs Hockey Clarence Day from the C144 Champ set, guys. This is a PSA 3. Not a high grade, right? But a mid grade, let's say, for a card like this. But these, and it's $5,500. Now, I don't know a lot about the Champ cigarette set, but there are several of them available tonight on the Fanatics Collect platform. And this must be an important card for people and a low pop card for people who are working on the set or need the Clarence Day. I also don't know if this is his rookie card, It may not be. Maybe he's got a card in the 23 Patterson set. Maybe he's also got a card in the 24 Patterson set. But in any event, at 55, and I wouldn't have even noticed this card myself had I not seen the price of $5,500. So, Josh, what do you know about this card, if anything?
Yeah, we talked about it on our show, and this is actually a relist. So this one closed, I think, 2 weeks ago for $8,400 and went unpaid. So it is his rookie card. It's very rare. PSA 3 is a pop 1. There's 14 graded higher, 18 total copies ever graded by PSA. And I don't know a ton about Half Day other than he was a Hall of Fame player and coach, obviously in Toronto. So that probably helps from a market standpoint.
Right on. Yeah. 18 total graded, 18 total submissions to PSA, which means it could be less if anywhere were cracked and resubmitted, which, it's likely at least one was, let's say. So that makes this card very, very tough. Only 18. And this is, it's a nice looking copy. Now it's not like an amazing copy. And I only say that because of the tilt. I'm not a huge fan of that tilt, that miscut, if you will, but it still is, the image is really nice. So this is one of those cards where if you need it, you're going to go for it almost in any grade because you only have 18 options out there. And really, what's the true float? Maybe 1 or 2 copies. I'm guessing most of those are locked up. So really, really key card right there. 1933 Worldwide Gum Ice Kings Joe Primo in a PSA 6 with an NBA silver sticker for top 30% right there. $800. One of the things I've always liked about these Worldwide Gum cards is that the whole card is like black and white except for the player's head. Did you notice that, Josh, when you looked at these cards? That
I never have. That's fascinating.
Isn't that funny? The head is like colorized. Maybe the rest of it is black and white, and the head and the hair is like a sepia tone. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but I think it's pretty cool. I do like the card. Back is just nice. It's one of those ice games. It looks just like the 33 Gaudies in baseball with all the text. You have French and English here. Really a cool set. A really cool set right there. And above average eye appeal from Fanatics Collect right there. Before we get into our 3 Gretzkys, Josh, any thoughts on the Joe Primo?
No, other than the fact that it not only has the Fanatics IPO rating, it's got the NBA silver rating too. So, a lot of third-party sort of endorsements for this card. Yeah,
like a lot of affirmations that this is a high-quality card for the 6. You got both the Ryan at Fanatics and the Mike Baker seal of approval right there. Michael says a watch party. You're saying a watch party with a Gretzky 7980. We got 3 of them tonight. Santucci says that's a nice card, Champs Hockey. It sure is. David G lets us know that it is the rookie card of I think he's talking about Clarence Day. He says the buyer didn't pay on the 8,500 that Josh was mentioning. Fanatics canceled the sale due to an error in the listing. That's interesting. No idea why. And good evening to Cards AH. Good to see you, Adam. Welcome to the show. All right, let's take a look at this 79 OPG Gretzky. This is a PSA 8 with Fanatics exceptional eye appeal, top 15%. We got to take a peek at this card, guys. And I haven't looked at this card yet. All I can say right now, and I'm not looking at it yet. I'm looking at me and Josh right now. I hope I like this card. I want to like the card, but you're going to get the truth out of me either way. Let's have a look at it. All right. First things first. I don't love it. I can tell you that right off the bat. I feel like I've seen this card before too. So why I said I don't love it is, here's what I don't like. I'm going to give you the things I don't like about it first, and then the things I do like about it. What I don't like about it: clockwise tilt right there. This right border widens as we go down. What's the slab number? 1.5. So this is an old submission that was re-slabbed to get the nice holder. Okay, this is this was probably graded in the early 2000s, in and around, the first 2005, 6 in there is when I'm guessing this was graded, but it was re-slabbed more recently to get this nicer holder. So It widens as you come down on the right. It widens as you go up on the left. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also noticing some weird surface issue right here. Can you see that, Josh? It's like it's like a white fingerprint almost. Some fading there. Word Edmonton looks pretty good. Word Oilers looks pretty good. We come on down. I do see some infringement on this white inner border here of some magenta coming into there. So that's a registration issue. Blues and blacks are lining up perfectly. I love that about it. Oil drop looks good, but it is slightly to the right. And that's again why we're seeing the infringement on the inner white border here. We're seeing some shadow off the bottom of the legs here in red. That's the same. That's a result of the same issue. And then we've got what I don't like. Listen, this left border has a rough cut, a very rough cut, which, I don't mind rough cut if it's uniform around the card. But on this copy, only the left is like the right edge is much nicer in my opinion. It's a rough cut, but it has like very little fray. On the left, I'm seeing almost a full like a brush of fray coming down the whole side. But on the right, you don't see any of it. The top is a beautiful cut. The bottom appears to be a beautiful cut where I can see it on the far left and right. I can't see it beneath the ridge in the PSA holder. So what I'm getting at is it's got the rough cut on the left, but that provides some asymmetry to the card altogether because you don't have it on the right. So it throws me off a little bit. So those are the things I don't like about it. Let's see what I do like about it. I do like the registration between the blue and the black lines. The corners, top left corner looks good. If you can, not look out to the fray. Top right corner looks good. Bottom right corner, very nice. Bottom left corner appears to be good. My biggest problem with this card is the tilt, this white surface issue right over there. I don't believe this would grade an 8 today. Personally, I don't believe this would grade an 8 today. So keep that in mind. But, it's in an 8 holder, and there's a large enough portion of the hobby that is good enough for. So centering, by the way, outside of the slight tilt is very strong. The E for exceptional eye appeal, I would have to talk to the guy to Ryan who does that and say why, because I completely disagree with the top 15% eye appeal. I think for an 8, anyway, I don't know how much more I want to beat this up, but that's what I think about this card. Josh, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, you pointed out, I think, with 4, sort of obvious flaws with the card, and I'm not sure how that factors into an 8. It's like the more you look at this card, though, the more you understand why there's hardly any PSA 10s. There's a million things that have to go right in the printing process of this card for it to be a gem mint. And it's just crazy. That's why this card, I think, is a hobby in of itself.
All right, let's go to the next Gretzky, which is a Topps, and this is a PSA 7. And let's take a peek at it. Now, I mean, right away, it looks nicer than the PSA 8 O-Pee-Chee right off the bat. Centering appears to be pretty close to perfect. I don't know that there's any issues left to right. Top to bottom, and I'm just being really careful here. Top to bottom looks really good as well. Color is strong. The only issue I am seeing, and guys, let me know if you see anything, but the only issue that I can see from this angle in 2 dimensions is this fisheye down here. Right there. I see that fisheye right there. I'm not really seeing anything. Maybe a little bit of a rough border down here, rough edge on the bottom. Some very light fisheyes in the bottom as well that I see now that I've zoomed in. As we scroll up, I mean, the edges look pretty good. A few more light fisheyes. There's one right over here. There's a couple in this area here. But the corners and edges are all, for me, they're all well sufficient for what I would want in my collection. A little bit of a spot right there, but minor. I mean, I don't know how this is a 7 and the other one's an 8. The only reason why is that this is a very recent submission. This starts with a 1, guys, but this has 9 digits in the serial number, whereas the PSA 8 over here has 8 numbers in the serial number and starts with a 1. That's how we know that this was graded 15 plus years ago, while this one was graded, in the last couple months. So I think that this card, to me, this 7 is a much it's superior to this 8. Superior to this 8. And I almost think that this exceptional eye appeal on the 8 is a mistake, because it certainly is not deserving of that, in my opinion. But again, I have different standards than Fanatics Collect does. So there, Josh, what did you think of that top 7?
Yeah, when about the first minute, I'm looking at it thinking, how is this a 7? I'm like waiting for the shoe to drop to have like a crease or, something, right? And it wouldn't be a crease, but it's a very, very nice looking 7. I would call it a very strong 7 from what we can see. And it's a Topps. We're comparing Topps and OPG, of course. But boy, I would feel this is like, if I'm in the market for a Gretzky rookie, this would be very interesting to me, this copy. We don't see 7s this nice very often.
Yeah. And there's no eye appeal on the 7. Like this card. Now, there could be something we can't see, but if there isn't, this card would come with my complete approval. If you're looking for a Topps in around a 7, I think this is a wonderful copy. Let's take a look at this authentic authentic Topps copy right here. It looks like it's a min size issue. It says minimum size not met. So they're not saying it's trimmed. They're just saying it's a little bit small. And you can see the right border is very thin. The left border is a lot wider. It has a few other issues in the corners, but that's about it. Sharp card otherwise. $500. They're not saying it's altered or inauthentic. They're just saying that it's the minimum size for their holder, I think, which is weird because it's in the holder, was not met, or the minimum size to receive a numerical grade was not met. So, all right, let's keep on going. A PSA 7 Topps Mario Lemieux rookie. Looks to be off-centered from here. Let's just take a bit of a closer look at it. But it's, PSA 7. It is what it is. It's available tonight to anyone who is interested in that copy right there. Now we're going to skip into some more modern stuff. 1990 Jaromir Jagr OPG Premier rookie card, PSA 10. Not a card that we would really watch every week, but I feel like we haven't seen one in a few weeks, Josh. I just want to see where are these falling in at now. $250, which is $300 out the door, is a healthy price for that card now. I think we've seen them kind of bouncing around. So not a bad price for that one. Josh, any thoughts?
No, it seems like a very healthy price. Like I would assume it's like a $150 card at this point. So, and we haven't even factored buyer's premium. Yeah. So we're at $300.
Before we get on to some of these other cards, I want to get to some comments here, if we may. So let's see, where do we end off there with the canceled issue. Cards H, curious to see where the Gretzky green PMG ends, as are I. Here we go, CSI Gretzky, says Laura. Doghouse, also curious on the Gretzky PMG green. Mark Santucci says, Jeremy is on a tilt. Yes, I think I was. Michael says, Jeremy could teach a class on this card. Thank you. I think I have. Maybe I have on the Gong Show. Mark Santucci, Jeremy and Josh, which card do you like better, Gretzky rookie or second year? I love the second year, Mark. I don't think I like it more, but I don't like it less. I like him even. Josh, do you have a preference, first or second year Gretzky?
Love them both, but it's hard to top the Gretzky rookie is the most iconic card in this whole hobby.
It's hard to top it. I agree. Yeah. I'm going to give it the nod, but it's like, 51-49 kind of thing. I love the second year as well. Mark Santucci says the 7980 looks like a 75 George Brett or any card from 1975. Michael says, Jeremy, in your opinion, is the blue on the Topps more vibrant than the blue on the OPG in general sense? Yes, 100%. The Topps copy was was printed with more quality. It's just a better quality product overall, from print to cut to registration, even centering in most cases. And yes, I think the Topps is a better quality card, but I still like the OPG because it's so hard to find in great shape. Mm-hmm. Okay, some early 90s inserts in PSA 10 holders. First of all, Bowman foil. I remember when this set came out and these foil cards were all the rage. I don't know if they were one per pack or something like that, but they were tough to find. And this Mario Lemieux is a PSA 10. I'm not sure what the population is on it, but these were big cards back in those days. Now, this card is sitting in the holder on a bit of an angle, but it does seem to have, I don't know if it's got tilt as well. I'd be surprised if it does. Maybe it's just in there on tilt. Hopefully that's the case. It probably is the case. I can't really tell. This is an interesting card to without a ruler to assess the centering, because look at this. See this dark stripe just to the right of the image and to the left of the border, this dark stripe that comes down and then it gets lighter as you get lower. It's on this side too. That I'm finding it, that is making it challenging for me to assess the centering as we go up the borders. But if we look down here, these seem to be the same width. Don't need to spend too much time on this card other than to say, these are cool cards, the foils. And I haven't owned one probably since 1993. So personally.
Did you own a shop at the time these came out?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody messaged us and said that, I don't know if this is true or not. This is sort of an anecdote, so take it for what it's worth. That these are pretty rare because the print runs were not very high. Apparently at that time they were taking pre-orders and pre-orders were not strong. And so they did not make as much of the product in shop. So maybe a wives' tale. I don't know.
I don't remember that, but I'm not saying it's not true. I mean, that could have easily been the case back in the day. The population on this Mario Lemieux is 17 in PSA 10. Pretty low pop for a card that is, it's not as cool now as it was back then, in the hobby's opinion. But if you were around back then, it's pretty cool. The total submissions on this card are exactly 60, just like the dollar on the sale. 60 total submissions only for this card from, the Junk Wax era, but a rare card from the Junk Wax era. I think it's cool. 1993, Donruss Ice Kings Wayne Gretzky. This is one that at first I wasn't even going to look at because it's a Junk Wax card. But I'm like, but you know what? Ice Kings, it's like the Diamond Kings from baseball. It's the same. These are the same cards, right? From Donruss, and they have a lineage to them, and it's kind of a cool card. And it's a PSA 10, which is going to be attractive to a lot of people. So I want to know what the population is on this. So I'm just going to check on my phone right now. 56807. Oh shoot, I messed up. 5680776. Population on this Gretzky Ice Kings. I'm going to guess it's 35. 35 on PSA 10. So not super high. And it's card number 4. Total submissions are 87. So 35 of 87 is your gem rate. And not a ton submitted. It's not a very valuable card, but in PSA 10, it's going to be at least $120 here tonight.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. Hey, Josh, is that a card that you'd be interested in?
I don't know. I kind of want to ask you about, so in the last year or two, right, we've seen very strong hobby interest in like mid to late 90s, right? 96, 7, 8, 99. Yep. I've been kind of wondering and waiting if the next wave is to find maybe the 3 or 4 big cards from 93, 94, 95, if those exist, and if all of a sudden those get a little momentum too. Yeah. I'm not really familiar with those years, but so I'm kind of curious to if that'll happen or not.
Yeah, I think what happens, Josh, is that people, like you said, there's a lot of attention on that second half of the 90s right now, and there has been for several years. And I think that as people dive deeper into that era, they're going to start to go back 1 year at a time sort of thing and just look at other cards from the 90s, say Gretzky PSA 10 sort of thing, and other maybe, obscure, like the foil, Bowman foils, even the Stanley Cup hologram from Pro Set comes to mind. There are a few other cards. The Brett Hull, the Heroes autographs are pretty cool, that came out in those early 90s. The Upper Deck Heroes header cards were autographed. So I think people do, just like when you get into the hobby, you start with the modern. Many people go back into all the way back to 1910. Maybe that'll happen with some of these. So interesting. There's definitely some content to be had on what are the the hidden gems from the first half of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a 93, a 94, and a 95. The 93 is the Donruss Studio Signature Gretzky. It's a PSA 10 here, as you can see. This is Pop 14, very low population. Now, I really like about this card, I love the facsimile autograph here in gold. Now, Josh, I know you're generally not a fan of facsimile autographs, but does this one look a little bit cooler to you? It's very reminiscent of what MVP does nowadays with some of theirs. Do you like this? And if you say no, you won't hurt my feelings.
I don't prefer it, but I understand why people would.
I love your diplomacy. I think this is a cool card. Now, I don't love the design. The big Kings logo in the background is okay, but I prefer a card with a border. Stadium Club came out in the early 90s. Everyone went gaga over Stadium Club because they were borderless. I like a card with a border because it gives the card a bit more of an identity personally, but I think this is pretty cool. If you want to load up on PSA 10 Gretzky cards from the 90s and you want to chip away at some very low price copies, relatively speaking, simply because there's no serial number on these cards, this is a nice option. This is a great option. The Ice Kings is a great option. The Ice Masters from 94 Donruss, Pop 6, you guys, only 6 PSA 10s. This is a kind of a cool card. I've never owned this, never even really looked at it. It's an art card, like, it's a painting or whatever, but I like the red background. Nice foil logo here. Oh, it's Perez Auto, I think was his name. Famous artist, done a lot of art in the card space over the years. This is a neat card, and it's actually priced $210. As you know, this price is completely driven by the Pop 6. It's completely driven by the PSA population. Raw, you could probably find this card. I'm totally guessing, but you can probably find this card raw for under $5. Maybe even for a couple bucks, but you put in a PSA 10 slab and let everybody know it's a Pop 6, all of a sudden $210. But
do me a favor and zoom in on the lower left corner.
I was just going to say too, PSA 10s do drive value. Lower left, a little bit of white showing. Is that what you saw? Yeah. Could be a lighting issue, but I only say that just to be very careful, but I'm seeing white there as well. And I don't see any on the other side, but again, it could be just the way the lights are set up when these photos are taken. Guys, we are 3 minutes into all access extended bidding right now. So keep that in mind, but you can bid on anything at any time. If you are going to bid, again, just a reminder, please use the Sports Cards Live affiliate link. It is at the top of the YouTube chat pinned there. SCL will earn a small, but very, appreciated commission. Okay, guys, 1995 Ultra View Hot Packs Gretzky PSA 10. I used to own one of these. This might have been my old copy. I don't know for sure, but this card is actually pretty cool. What you can't really see here in the picture is that where it says Ultra View, that is transparent. You can see through the card there. That's like acetate. So that's pretty neat. Now, there is another version of this card, which is not the Hot Packs card, and that's this little Hot Packs logo here. So I believe these are more rare than the regular version. I don't know if they sell for much more, but I do believe that they are a little bit more rare. This one's sitting at $180 right now with the buyer's premium. So again, some fun, really fun PSA 10 Gretzky's here that are not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And if you want to collect PSA 10 90s Gretzky's, you can knock off some rare, some low pop pieces right here tonight. Nothing is over $500. Like, it's kind of funny that they're so cheap, but it's because the value is 100% driven by the population.
Yeah, I mean, dare I say though that I understand that yes, they're nothing super expensive, but it feels like pretty strong. I mean, I haven't comped any of these, but for this era of cards, when you're up around $200, that feels pretty healthy to me, doesn't it to you?
Yes, it feels healthy when you're looking at it in the vacuum of 93 to 95, let's say. But when you then move forward to the next 5 years, you've got Gretzky's with higher populations will sell for $5,000 type of thing. So, but yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. Timepiece Esquire throws a tip to the host and says, in an era where athletes who make tens of millions of dollars per year sit out back-to-backs, Jeremy Lee is putting in the work with back-to-back weekend lives. We salute and appreciate you, JL. Well, Timepiece, I got to say, that is very nice of you to just mention that. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that comment, Timepiece. I appreciate the comment more than I appreciate the tip, but that is also appreciated. So thank you so much. Really mean that. And thank you. And but my co-host, Josh Madigan works just as hard as I do in this hobby, doing content. So I don't want to leave him out of that discussion as well.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, 1997 Leaf Fractal Matrix Wayne Gretzky, PSA 10, Pop 8, 875. Here's a great example. This card is not numbered. It's a PSA 10, numbered out of 8, 875. Sorry, Pop 6, 875. Sorry. Pop 8, $875. Both of these are Pop 6s, PSA 10s, and they're, a quarter of the price of this one. 210, 150, not even. Just to show to that point from earlier, Josh, right? Like, yeah. You move into the late 90s, cards are just valued higher, it seems. And this might be because of the design, the aesthetic, the various elements that make up this card, like this really neat foil effect that it has. And I used to own this in a Steve Yzerman in this card. I don't anymore. So I haven't had one in hand for a while, but they're pretty cool cards right there.
Yeah, this card is very confusing. Like there's a lot going on with these Fractal Matrix. There's like X-axis, Y-axis. There's bronze, silver, gold editions. I think Doghouse said the print run's 50. Some are print. I think it's from 700 all the way down to 50. And just because I looked it up, and I want to share because I did the work for our show a week ago. So if you're ever curious what a fractal matrix is, let me bend your mind. A fractal matrix is a type of matrix that exhibits self-similarity, a property where a pattern repeats at different scales, much like the fractals in mathematics and nature. These matrices often have recursive or hierarchical structure, where smaller submatrices resemble the whole matrix. You get that? Do you understand now?
Yeah, no.
Nobody did. It's like what? But that is what a fractal matrix is.
It's interesting, and I like the creativity. I mean, back in the day, speaking of creativity, probably my favorite card from the 90s is the 1998 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, and tonight on offer is a Mark Messier BGS 9.5 Gem Mint. These are numbered on the back out of 100, and this one, I'll open it up so we can see the numbering, because I do like the serial numbering on these cards. It's hard to see under the Canucks logo, but 059 of 100 right there for the Messier, numbered out of 100, 280 right now, BGS 9.5, and I want to go back to the front and check out those subgrades. So 10 for corners, 9.5 centering edges, 9 surface. These cards are just amazing to hold in hand under the light and move around. And check out just how the light just refracts off this thing. Pretty amazing. Now, Messier as a Vancouver Canuck was not very popular among Canucks fans, but I think collectors of atomic refractors don't care about that. And maybe some Messier collectors don't care either. I love these cards. Again, probably my favorite card of the 90s. Josh, what are your thoughts on atomic refractors?
I love them. And I get it, the whole Messier in Vancouver thing, but at 280 right now, given the context of what other players' cards sell for, you have a Pavel Bure, it'd be around $3,000, I think, something like that, or $2,000 that I recently saw. And the last a raw copy sold about a week ago for $350. So at 280 in the BGS 9.5 grade, that's a pretty good deal. So somebody should definitely jump on that.
Yeah, that is a good deal right now, I believe, as well. A few minutes ago here, 15 minutes ago, Laura said, has there been any official count of the total number of printed Gretzky rookies, so Peachy and Tops? I don't think so, Laura. I do not think there's ever been, there may have been some estimates out there, but I don't know what they are. So that's about all I can tell you on that. Linda's first son, Michael, says they weren't rare. I think he's talking here about the Bowman gold. There were some packs with 2 all-star foil cards in them, but usually 1 per pack. Topps just came out with their gold parallels, and with their gold, you fixed that somewhere, I thought. Anyway, Topps just came out with their gold parallels and wanted something for Bowman and decided on these. So that's that Lemieux card. Anony says from 1990 Pro Set to 1995, everything was overprinted in hockey. Yeah, pretty much. Doghouse, to what Josh said earlier, that Gretzky fractal matrix is amazing. Print run of 50. But then Jason, I think, said were the die cuts out of 250. He also says Benoit Mandelbrot, father of fractal, self-similarity to build complexity. That comment right there from Jason. I mean, that could be the title of this episode, and we'd all scratch our head. That would be fun. Like the guys from like the guys from Card Ladder do on their crossover episodes. They name the show. They name the show after based on what they've said. That would be a good name. Benoit Mandelbrot, father of fractals. All right, and Tampa says those atomic refractors are gorgeous. They certainly are. They certainly are. Okay. Alexander Ovechkin, 2012 Fleer Retro, Josh's favorite product of all time, a PSA 5 blue PMG, $825. PSA 5, I mean, that's low. 7 is kind of where you expect these to be. 5 is low for these cards. And from what I can see, it must be this top right corner right there. Let's have a quick look at the back and see if there's much going on there as well. A quick cursory review, doesn't seem to be much damage on the back. Seems to be this top right corner. Of course, the top left corner shows a hint of white. Some light chipping on the edges, which is common to these cards. The 5, probably a reasonable grade, maybe a conservative grade even on this card. Josh, what do you think of this piece?
I think it still has pretty good eye appeal, and this is where I think the grade hurts the value. I think as a raw card, it sells for more. So if you're in the market for this card, I would be excited that it's in a PSA 5 holder, because I'm going to get a better deal. Yeah. Save money because of the grade for sure. And here's the Gretzky PMG green that we were talking about, 2014 Fleer Showcase, numbered out of 10, PSA 8, Pop 2, 1 graded higher. I used to own this card, maybe this exact copy. I forget what my grade was. These are, I was talking to someone recently who just loves the design on these cards. Now I want to actually come out of here and do it this way. Let's get a better look at this. So they're pretty cool cards. And this, I'm gonna nitpick the design, but that's it. Not the card itself, just the design. If you guys can see, it's got like this kind of ironwork kind of detail here, almost like it's some sort of built like a rafter or something. I don't know what they call it in the building world, but with all these divots in it, rivets maybe they're called. There's this down here. Like if they would have just left that off and made the whole thing green, I think this card would have been a superior card from a design perspective, in my opinion. But take nothing away from it. He's in an Oilers uniform. A nice second image of him right here in the background within the green that I think is often overlooked and very cool. And again, numbered out of 10, PMG green, 3,000 right now, which is going to be $3,600 out the door. Josh, what do you think of this PMG green Gretzky? It's not my favorite design, but it's a green PMG Gretzky. So there's not that many of them. And it's a special card.
We're just getting caught up on closing some windows here, you guys. Want to leave that one open. We'll close that one too. We got to leave that one open. Okay. So that's the PMG green, everybody. We have a Alexander Ovechkin 2013 Prism Silver Auto. Only 20 copies produced. PSA 9, $1,375. Pop 1 graded higher. Now, I don't know if it's a Pop 1 with the 10 auto or if there's only one other PSA, or if it's the only PSA 9 altogether. There might be other PSA 9s that don't have the auto grade. I don't know how that works on the PSA population report. But in any event, with this exact grade combination of 9 on the card, 10 on the auto, this is a Pop 1. There's only 1 graded higher, and there is an autograph right there. It is a sticker auto, but that's the way they were done in Prism. And a pretty cool card. I like the looks of this card, even despite the sticker auto. Josh, what do you think of it?
love prisms, love silver prisms, 100% would prefer a non-autoed versus a sticker auto. Like
There
I
you
would just
have it, everybody.
much rather just, but it's an awesome card and can definitely understand why somebody would be all over this one, especially at this time.
All right. Thank you for that, guys. And then lastly on this row is a 2013 Prism Finite rookie 1/1 of Nathan Beaulieu. Now, we wouldn't look at a Nathan Beaulieu card except for the fact that it's a Prism 1/1 Finite. And that's really cool. Just the opportunity to own one of these blackish 1/1 prisms from 2013 is neat. I don't know that I would buy it despite the player. I wouldn't. I would wait for a different player, but we don't often see these 1/1 prism blacks from hockey. And I just thought we'd take a look at it. Josh, do you remember seeing many of these in your travels?
No. I think there was maybe one or two I don't remember the insert name, but it's the one that features the Stanley Cup. I want to say Brodeur, maybe Crosby, that we had in this auction maybe within the last 6 months. But you're right, they're very, very rare.
Yeah, they are very, very rare. All right, let's go to some comments here. We'll stop and hover on these cards while I do run through comments. Guys, first of all, Thorson in the house, you beauty. What is up? Welcome to the show. Linda's first says the Gretzky Ultra View Hollow Hot Pack. So that's this card right here, you guys, is actually less rare than the non-hot pack. He says these were inserted 1 in 360. The non-hot pack is 1 in 55. So that makes these more rare then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that Gretzky comes. Yeah. So this is rarer. Sorry. So this is rare. Thank you for that, Michael. Ali says Messier, third all-time scoring. His cards should be chased. I agree. They should be. Cheney, welcome to the channel. You're new to this. Thank you for dropping by. Says, do we watch hockey only? Sunday nights, we only watch hockey here, Cheney. On Thursday for the premier auction, myself and another co-host, Adam Gray, come on. That'll be this Thursday. We cover all the sports in the Fanatics premier auction. But tonight, yes, only hockey. David G wants us to look at the 1933 Worldwide Gum Tiny Thompson. All right, I'm going to star that. We'll come right back to that. Thorson says PSA automatically grades PMGs as 6s. I have graded many recently, and most recent were my best 2 condition PMGs ever, both 6s. Yeah, they don't even have to look at those. Mark says, how does a card in 2012 get a 5? That's the nature of the PMGs. They're very fragile, Mark. Tampa says it's a PMG. The foil is tough to get a decent grade. 2014 is the only year I don't really care for them. It's my least favorite design as well. Linda says Ironworks. Oh, the Ironworks frames. That was the design of the PMGs. Again, we're talking about this one right over here. Tampa, how can you call it a PMG when there's no foil? Yeah, well, we do. we do call them that, I guess. Linda says it doesn't have to any precious metal gems either, but they do. Ali says, I like the Gretzky cards that show him without the C on his jersey. It's probably a picture from his rookie year. They seem more special. That's interesting for sure. Jason says 2014 PMGs are beautiful in hand. Very nice, Jason. I'm glad you like them. And Michael says number 1 whole set in 300. Oh, that's no 1 whole set in 360 packs compared to so the hot packs are rarer. The hot packs are more common is what he's saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. I did not understand it the first time. All right, Tage Thompson, PSA 10 Young Gun, $125. Josh, he's been turning it on lately in the NHL, has he not?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I he's maybe he'll hit the Who's Hot segment of the Gong Show one of these weeks coming up. We will see. Cale Makar, the Cup scripted sticks. Now, scripted sticks, I like more than scripted swatches often. This is a great looking card design-wise. Nice silver, looks like a paint pen auto. The stick piece though is, it is stick piece, but there's not much going on design-wise. But what that allows for is the autograph to be showcased very nicely. 5 on the card, 7 on the auto. Obviously, because of these streaks, which don't bother me.
No, I don't mind
me. You?
Yeah. No. And again, here's another card that is going to be got on a big time deal because of the sled.
Yeah, to me, I won't say it's undergraded, but I would say it's it's definitely the grade is going to hurt this card, and I don't think it really should. $250 for a 20. Well, I don't know how that ranks, but that's a good.
When was the last time you saw a 7 grade on an auto? I don't even know if
I don't think I ever have seen a 7 grade on an auto. And I mean, it's all in the window. That auto looks good to me. I just think auto grading is one of the silliest things going. Personally, I would never pay a premium. I can eyeball an auto myself. I do not need. I think most of us can. I don't need to pay anybody to put a 10 on my autos. And then, or listen, I might pay you to grade my card and grade my auto with it if I'm going to sell it. And I think it's going to be a premium personally for a 10 auto. And then finally, I do love the first year of doubloons. I think this is the first year of them. Is that right, Josh? 2022?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the Connor McDavid doubloons from Allure. It's a raw card. It's authentically nice cars. I've never owned one, but I've seen them, and they're just nice, shiny, kind of, trying to capitalize on the whole gold movement in the hobby, and a beautiful card right there. Any thoughts on that, Josh?
I think the balloons is one of those cards that it's like, it seems like on the edge of being a really special chase card, but can't quite get there. And I think one of the maybe hidden aspects of it that is a little bit isn't readily apparent is they're actually more rare than they present. It's like when you're on a checklist and you look and you see pack odds, right? Well, if the pack odds are 1 in 100, which they're roughly, it changes a little bit year by year for doubloons. You think, oh, well, it's not super common, but it's not really rare either. What makes doubloons rare is the size of the checklist. That it's usually very big. This year's was 100. So you're multiplying for any specific player 100 times 100. And when you look at specific player odds, it gets, it's 1 in 10,000 packs to maybe hit that key Connor McDavid player. And so it's even more than that. Yeah. They've gotten a little bit easier to hit, but
isn't that 1 in 6, like to hit a specific card, isn't that 1 in 16,000?
Yeah, that year. Yeah, that would be that.
Yeah, that's a lot of packs to get through to hit this Connor McDavid card. CGC population 1 of 0, none graded higher. I can't imagine they meant for that to be on there. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Brett. Really appreciate that. Lev, Michael says, just hope Cale Makar gets better for the next Four Nations game. Definitely agree with that. All right, guys, I think we're going to finish off with all Connor Bedards. We have the 2023 clear cut high gloss rookie auto number 10 out of 10 copies. It's at $2,300. Let's take a look at this card. Yeah, that's a nice looking piece. The autograph is beautiful. High gloss right there. Yeah, I mean, nice looking card. You can see the back. You can see the writing on the back coming through because it is an acetate card. 10 of 10 is pretty cool. Call it a bookend. It's got the upper deck hologram sticker keeping it sealed. We call that uncirculated. Nice looking card right there. Josh, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I think it's a nice looking card. A couple of my thoughts on this are 6 months ago, there'd be another 0 on this card, wouldn't there? I mean, that's crazy how much his market has backed off then. And then, too, I think that like one of the things that we'll talk about on a card like this is this a set where the out of 10 or the high gloss matters, right? Is that going to be a premium that down the road is going to be significant or not? Or would you rather maybe pay a little bit less and have an out of 100 or something like that, right? Where obviously in a Young Guns, like in a base Young Guns, the high gloss definitely matters. But does an out of 10 on a clear cut auto, is that really significant? Is it worth the premium? I don't know. I think that's an. I'm gonna
take a different spin on it, and I'm gonna say that the only reason this is a premium is because it's out of 10. I don't think it has anything to do with the high gloss aspect of it. Well, I could be wrong. For me, high gloss should have stuck to base flagship. Don't add it to this product too. Personally, To me, I don't like that they do that on these cards, that they add the high gloss parallel to it. You don't need it for that. And now I feel like they are infringing upon the high gloss parallel from Flagship. It drowns it out. It waters the high gloss name down a little bit too much for me. So I don't know. I just don't see it. Clear Cut is not Flagship. It's just not even close to Flagship. So why are you using the high gloss insert name or parallel in this set as well? Well, why? I guess because it's familiar to people, and like it's not a young gun. It's just a high gloss parallel. The card that this is a parallel of, Josh, what is that number to? Is it 100? Is it
I think they have an
unnumbered?
exclusive, then they just have a base auto. And see, I would argue that I totally get and appreciate your point on, and you might be right, that the values in the out of 10, but does the out of 10 even mean anything in Clear Cut?
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the high gloss is what gives this value. To me, it's just simply an autograph out of 10 on an acetate card. And to me, the Clear Cut brand is like, it's one of those brands. It doesn't really fit anywhere to me into the portfolio of Upper Deck brand. It's like an oddball brand to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like an outlier brand.
Right? Yeah. So personally, I'm not a fan of the Clear Cut brand. Personally, I've never seen a card and been like, I have to have that ever from Clear Cut.
Now, I will say the Outbursts. So they kind of did the Clear Cut take on the Outbursts. Those look pretty cool, but they're just cool looking. I don't know if it makes that important.
Now, I don't know that I've seen one of those yet. So what I just said was I've never seen one that I was like, I have to have it. Maybe when I see that card, maybe I will change my tune when it comes to Clear Cut. Okay, now on to cards I do actually like from Flagship are the Outburst Connor Bedard. This is the draft, the draft card. We've got the Simple Outburst Silver, PSA 10, and then we've got the Outburst Red out of 25. I mean, I prefer this card to this card. Even, I don't need the scribbly autograph. I love the Outburst Reds. I love them more than the Silvers. I like both of these cards. I think they're awesome. Only 25. It's a PSA 9. I might have said 10 by mistake. It's a PSA 9. But to me, that's great. That's just going to save me money. Not that I'm buying it, but that's just going to save you money to get it in a 9 over a 10, when the difference between a 9 and a 10, as we scroll through this card slowly, there's really nothing wrong with it. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a corner issue down here, but that might just be the design. I can't tell for sure. Love the serial number on the front here. That 8 of 25 is a beautiful stamp. I know it sounds so funny to say to a non-hobbyist. This is also, if you look at the very bottom right of your screen, everybody, you will see Connor Bedard from these cards. He is the theme of the night as well. But I think this is a beautiful card. He looks so young there, which, right now it's like, who cares? But in 15 years, look back at this card, you'd be like, look how young he looks there. Just like we do when we look at pictures of Crosby and Ovechkin from their rookie year nowadays. What are your thoughts on these two, Josh?
I think they're nice looking cards. As far as like the draft class and these are from extended series. The only umbrage I have with the Bedard is that it's too similar to me to the SP1 Easter egg from Series 1.
Well, I thought that's what it was. I kind of thought this was a play on that. Am I wrong? I thought this was
no. So in extended series, what they did is originally when extended series came out, they did like 50 Young Guns in Series 1, 50 in Series 2, and then 50 in extended. But so many of those Young Guns were not great that they started doing first round draft portraits of the key rookies. They dropped the Young Guns down to 30. And then I think supplemented him with 20 first round draft. And these are those from extended. And so it is a little bit of a different image. I think he's holding the puck in the SP1 and putting like a finger up in the air, but it's just way too similar and I think it actually hurts the SP1 card for people that Easter egg. Cause you have to, really be a nerd about this stuff to know the difference between the two.
Got it. Okay. And guys, we have cards that have now sold and we are into the 5-minute windows right now. I want to open up page 2 here, see what I had there. Okay, they have sold. So they were a couple more Bedard cards, but I don't think we're even going to get to see them now until the end. So let's go back to here. Let's see what sold. The Silver Outburst Bedard draft card does $492. The clear cut Bedard out of 10. The high gloss does $27.60. The Tage Thompson sells for $150. The Gretzky sold, no further bids, $3,600 on the PMG green Wayne Gretzky. Everything else is still alive here, guys, right? Yep, still alive. This row is all still going. Ovechkin's up to $1,000 now. We've had bids on the Messier. The UltraView Gretzky PSA 10 sells for $180, while the Leaf Studio Signature sells for $198. The Ice Kings Gretzky, $120. Congrats to these new owners. $300 on the Yager. No further bids.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 are still going. The Gretzky sells for $12,600. So it must have been 10.5, would have been 12.6. Yeah, so no more further bids. It did 10.5 right there. And I'm glad there were no further bids. The Joe Primo 12.60, and the Clarence Day comes close to what it sold for last time when it didn't get paid, which is $8,100 right there, Josh. So that's pretty interesting. Now, okay, just remembered, I'm sorry about this. David G want us to look at the Tiny Thompson. If it's still alive, David, I'm sorry. Let's go take a look at that. Let's see if we can find it. Here it is. Okay, it's still going. It's still going, David. It looks faded to me right out of the gate. And I noticed a whole bunch of cards in the auction tonight that we weren't looking at, like common players. They looked faded. This looks very faded to me. It's a 4. So other than that, I don't know. Like, it looks nice other than that, but it looks very faded, very light.
Mm-hmm.
The back looks light as well. For all I know, this is a bleach job gone bad or something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen enough copies to be certain, but this looks light to me. Let's just go here for a second, and let's go to hockey. And let's go to, how can we do this? Let's do 1933 here. Okay, so here's all the 1933 Ice Kings. Most of them, like, these look pretty good. Good bold color. Good bold. Look at these. Beautiful. Look at this Thomas Wilcox. Like, he's jumping off the card. And then look at this one here. Super light. Super faded over here. Nice and dark. Faded. Dark. Darkish. Faded, it seems like. Dark. Like, these, they're just weird. I don't know what's right or wrong for these. So that's what I have to say about those, David. I hope that is helpful one way or the other. Okay, where's the clock at, guys? 1:15. So we've seen all the cards that have sold. So, Josh, we're going to refresh now and clean up this page. And let's see what's left. Well, okay, here we go. Good. So we got the PSA 7 Topps Gretzky, which we love. We love. Josh and I love that. I think you guys do too. The authentic Topps Gretzky at 600. The 7 Lemieux at 165. The 2 Gretzkys and the Lemieux Bowman foil. We got the Atomic Refractor Messier. Oh, look, more bids on the Ovechkin PMG Blue. Is up to another one just now. It's up to $1,200. Beaulieu's up to $130. Doubloons is $125 now. Makar $260. The Ovechkin Prism Silver Auto from 2013 out of 20 is at $1,475. And there we do have the Speckled Rainbow is on page 2. It moved to page 1. It's at $390. The Speckled Rainbow draft card in a PSA 10 Pop 8, $390. And the Gold Outburst is at $1,200. 20 seconds left, guys, on these cards. We need bids on these 2 or they're done. Doubloons got a bid. So did Ovechkin. We need a bid on Makar in 10 seconds, guys. Most of the rest are going through, except for these 3 need bids as well. Let's see what's going on. Let's hover on Makar. Makar, 2 seconds, 1 second, and it looks like that's going to sell. So let's go to the top and see what happened here. All right. So the PSA 7 Topps has sold for $2,400. The Lemieux Top 7, $198. The authentic got a bid and lives on. The Lemieux Bowman foil sells for $125. The Gretzky, didn't sell. It's still going. The Gretzky Donruss Ice Kings, Ice Masters PSA 10 Pop 6 sells for $300. These are all still going. The Makar does $312. A $1440 on the Bedard Red Outburst out of 25, and $468 on the Bedard Speckled Foil draft card. So there we go. Backed on the bidding on the Makar. Does that mean you're back? Oh, backed out. You backed out on it, Brett. How come? Just curious why. Mark Santucci says, tomorrow's a federal holiday. Are we going late to like 11:30 Eastern? No, we're not going to go till 11:30 Eastern. We'll go till about 11 Eastern, Mark. Michael says, in general, I like the red more than the silver, but on this Bedard, the jersey really pops off the card in the silver version, where on the red, it just blends in. Yeah, it's a fair comment. Very fair comment. By the way, did the SP1 even have outburst parallels? Josh, do you know the answer to that? Because I don't.
No,
you don't know, or no, it didn't?
It did not. No parallels.
It did not. Yep. Robert Scott pulled up the digital image on PSA, and yes, the Thompson is faded compared to others. Thank you for doing that, Robert Scott. I think who asked about that again? Was that who asked about that? David, yeah. So thank you. Hopefully that confirms it for David if David was looking at that card. Jay-Z did his best on the, was it a judge card? But he was bested. He's very sad. Even went a couple thousand over your max. So your max wasn't your max. I love that. Oh, okay. Larry's Classic got the Makar. Larry's Classic snagged the Makar when Brett didn't. Congratulations, Larry. Jay-Z, my wife said just buy it. Did you? Oh, but you bid again and immediately got overbid. Crazy, Jay-Z. But I got to say, you got one hell of a wife there telling you to just buy the card. Brett S says, congrats, Larry. I backed out as I have another card coming up that I want to put funds to. Hey, I can hear you on that. All right, Josh, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We have 8 cards left that we are watching. The Gretzky Authentic needs a bid or it will be sold in 2 minutes and 11 seconds. The Lemieux, the Gretzky are already going into the next 5-minute window, as is the PMG Ovechkin. It's at $12.50. Messier Atomic Refractor needs a bid. So does Nathan Beaulieu. So does Ovechkin. And so does the doubloons Connor McDavid. Now, somebody said in the chat earlier, Josh, that one of the things working against the doubloons is that there's the 16 bits that are also chase cards from that product. What are your thoughts on that comment? Is that a valid comment? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think that 2 really strong chase cards can live in the same set. But yeah, maybe it does affect it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think they can too. And they're so different from each other as well. So I like both. I like both of them. So there you go. For me, I'm good with both. Thorson just wants to say to you, Jay-Z, what a gem of a woman. Is she single? Tell her hi for me. It's his wife, Thorson. It's his wife. So funny.
Not single.
So funny. By the way, guys, Sports Cards Live here, Fanatics Talk weekly hockey auctioning watch party also doubles as a dating show. We're also willing to set you up with other viewers. I'm just kidding, of course. Just kidding, but we're having fun here tonight. Jason says at least two other bidders to get here on the Ovechkin. Not sure if I'm willing to push. Oh, so at least 2. I don't know what the X means there, Jason, but I think you're saying there's at least 2 other bidders you're in a bidding war on the Ovechkin, right? And it's up to $13.50 now, guys. So it's going to go into the next window. So let's see. Doubloons got a bid now. So did Ovechkin. A couple of bids, it looks like, for Ovechkin. He's up to $1,500 now.
Wow.
All these 3 are going to everything's going to go to the next window except the authentic Gretzky if it doesn't get a bid in the next 10 seconds. So let's sit here and watch what happens, and let's see. 4 seconds left. Looks like no further bids, guys. Looks like that's going to sell for about $750 or so. Yep, $750 on the nose right there on that card. The rest are still going. Let's get it out of here. Let's take that off our screen. And we are down to 7 cards now. We still have 4 5-minute bidding windows left before we hit the 1-minuters, and then this thing will end pretty quickly. Want to welcome everybody watching on Twitter/X. Over 20 of you over there. Congratulations to us for having you. 76 on YouTube. Great to have you guys. And the lone soul on Instagram who is watching, feel free to come on over to YouTube and join the true watch party. Turpin Forcer says, I'm a big fan of the Fanimation for hockey. I got to tell you, I was at one point too. I've lost my love for them. I don't know what it is, but that does happen. But that's fine. I had several. I moved them to other collections, and it's one of those, you just can't collect everything. But I understand it. I think the Fanimations took a lot of people by storm, and they are pretty cool cards. Where do you fall on Fanimations, Josh?
Oh boy. It's not like my favorite card design of any of them. We just did a deep dive on last Thursday's show on the 2018 Fanimations that were Easter eggs. And I think that there's some really cool story behind those. I think I prefer that original year to the more, now they're kind of going with like the carnival caricatures versions. And I like Fanimation goes back to 1992 in basketball, but and then there was Be a Player 1994, but I like the 2018 versions. Those would be the ones I would pick.
Yeah. So it's interesting in the 2018 version, which is the ones that I had several of, you had series 1 and series 2. I forget which one it was, Josh, but one of those series, they were actually canvas cards. Like they weren't noted as canvas, but they were on a canvas card stock. Whereas the other series, they were on regular, more glossy card stock. And I really did not like the canvas ones for myself. And that's when I realized that there was that difference. I'm like, I'm going to get out of these and just move into something else because I'm not a huge fan of that. Really quick, though, to the person that asked, yes, LGC, it is his jersey number, the Ovechkin. It says it in the title too, jersey number 8/50. I looked at the back of this earlier, and I didn't realize at the time that it was jersey number. Oh gosh, hold on. Let's get this thing back in order here. Let's do it this way. All right, now we can zoom in and not mess up it. Yeah, that is clearly numbered 8/50. So definitely 8/50 on the Ovechkin. Let's clean this up a bit. There we go. Okay. We're going to close out of that. Close. We'll leave that open for now. Okay. I feel like I just interrupted myself. Jay-Z says she likes Diamond Thorson. Be warned. Black Diamond, he says. All right. We're talking about the Fanimation thing. We did enough of talked about those enough. Chris says, I've recently pulled a green OV PMG cartoon. What do you think that's worth? No idea what it's worth, but you can do some research and see, unless you happen to know, Josh, what that might be worth.
No, I mean, it's a nice hit. So that would be the 2013 retro Marvel PMG version. I don't know. They've done that 2 years in a row now. So I don't know I assume it's 2023, but the best bet would be to go look at 130 Point or Card Ladder, Market Movers, some app like that.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, you can go to Card Ladder, and I think I don't know if you need the pro level to look at the sales history, but if you have that, you can find all sorts of history on that. Doghouse, curious your thoughts on 1999 holographics, awesome Gretzky cards, debating chasing them. They seem very cheap for a cool looking answer. Yeah, Doghouse, I've been enamored by those before in that they are very cool looking for such a cheap card, but then I see people with stacks of them. So they're not rare at all. You can probably get the whole set for $20 raw. Just like I think a guy had at the local show here a few weeks ago. Again, $20 raw for the whole thing, sort of, or maybe $60 raw for the 20 or 40.
Even the parallel version of it.
These were the awesomes. Yeah, they were the awesomes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Guys, very quickly, we have 10 seconds left in the window, and only 2 cards or 3 cards are going for sure. But these 3 might all be over. Fractal Matrix, Lemieux Foil, and the Messier Atomic Refractor. Let's see what happens here. Are these sold? I believe they are. Let's let it process and turn over. And there we go. The Lemieux Bowman Foil sells for $156. The Gretzky Fractal Matrix PSA 10, $1140. $432 for the 9.5 Messier Atomic Refractor. I think that's a bit of a steal right there. And 162 on the Nathan Beaulieu 2013 Prism Finite 1/1 rookie card. Some neat prices right there. Let's refresh and clean ourselves up one more time. We are down to the final 3 cards that we are watching, so we don't need to scroll on here anymore. That's nice. And we can go to some comments again, Josh, unless you have anything you want to mention out of the gate here.
Nope. Go right to comments.
Right to comments. All right. Thorson says, I just got done grading my Kaprizov doubloons. The 2022 got a PSA 10, pop 1, and the 23 got a 9, also pop 1. Conflicted, as it was hard to want to grade since they look so good in one-to-one touch. What to do? Yeah, I mean, I would, you know what? Just leave them. You paid the money to grade them. Nothing wrong with a 9 or a 10. They're so rare. Kaprizov's your guy. Enjoy them. PSA sub looks nice enough. Plastic might be low quality, but they look nice enough. I mean, that's my thought. I don't know what else I could really say about that right there. Jason, I was able to buy the the 8/25 Beehive Matte rookie last. That's an amazing Jason, the 2005 Beehive Matte rookies are so under the radar, it seems. They are excellent cards, in my opinion. So out of 25, the jersey number, that might be one of the best Ovechkin rookie year cards, period. Wow. Michael H., what's going on? Jeremy loves his cards. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Chris says, yes, gorgeous card. Only one sale at $420 USD. I already forget what card were we talking about there where he asked. Yes, that was no, I don't remember what it was. But anyway, you found it. So that's good. Last card standing, LGC wants to know, is it the Panini Auto or the PMG? So you're not even given the doubloons the option of being one of them, LGC. They're both at 1,600. Oh, I'm going to say PMG. Josh, what about you? We haven't played Survivor in a long time. Last card standing of these 3?
I want to disagree because it be more fun, but the PMG is a jersey number, first year or first run of PMGs for Ovechkin. I got to go with that one.
Yeah, he's going with the PMG. It was a release week sale. Michael H., love the passion. Got to go. Thanks for dropping in, Michael. Appreciate it. Professor says, hampered on bidding. My Mahomes rookie from 2 weeks ago went unpaid. First time it happened to me on the platform. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. What I'm saying is, I'm sorry your item wasn't paid for. That sucks. However, cards don't get paid for. What percent? I'm guessing it's under 5%. Because I'm watching these stats on other platforms and elsewhere. I believe it's under 5% that generally don't get paid for at auction in our hobby. And so to Professor, I would ask you, have you sold 20 cards, at least 20 on the platform, so that the first time would my 5% be right? Have you sold 100 cards, 500 cards? Can you estimate and put in the chat, how many cards have you sold? I really want to know, just for my own understanding of the unpaid rate. I think it's fascinating. Thanks for sharing with us that your Mahomes did go unpaid, but it's not going to be the rule. But it happens. It's just part of the game, right? And if you're patient, you relist it. And I want to tell you something. I had a card sell 2 weeks ago for $60. Did not get paid. Was relisted, sold again, $132 paid. Nice. You got to tell me how happy I was that it didn't get paid the first time. So it can work in your favor. It just worked. And I had 3 cards go unpaid in that tranche. 2 sold for more the second time, significantly more. 1 sold for $400 the first time, went unpaid, $640 the second time, paid.
But where I agree with,
it was a Crosby. Sorry, it was a Crosby, Josh, and it was after he set up that beautiful McKinnon goal in the first Four Nations game. But sorry, what were you trying to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, everything you said, I 100% agree with. I also very much empathize with the Professor. If you had a Mahomes rookie, the difference between 2 weeks ago and today feels like an ocean in between. And, it is a cost of doing business. It happens eventually to everybody, but that's time you just can't get back for that card.
Yeah, you can't go back in time. Exactly. But it could, Professor, let me know in a DM at the end of the day, if you do relist the Mahomes, what it sold for the first time and what it sells for the second time. I'm really curious, just curious what happens there. Jay-Z says, can I just say I love this community? Thank you to both Jeremy and Josh for the time you both put in. Thanks, boys. Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Jay-Z, thank you for that comment. Very nice. And you're a great friend, buddy. Chris says the green PMG OV also pulled Nathan McKinnon green PMG the following week. Unreal, caught lightning in a bottle twice in 2 weeks. That's amazing, Chris. Congratulations. Professor says he's sold probably 400 cards on this platform. That's a 0.25% unpaid rate. That's pretty strong, actually, right? I would not get discouraged by that, Professor. Although you might, if the Mahomes sells for less the second time, that's just too bad. That's all I can say is just too bad. And like Josh says, sorry to hear that happened. Jason says, do you think that unpaid rate is similar across auction houses, consignment businesses? I do. I think it's maybe higher for auction houses and consignment businesses because there's going to be more shill bidding with auction houses and consignment businesses because it's just so much easier for people to do that. I think. The Prism sold, guys. The Prism sold for $19.20, while the Ovechkin might sell for the same. It just might sell a little bit later. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the unpaid rate, Jason. I hope I was clear there. Professor dropped out of the Messier Atomic Refractor, but picked up the O-Pee-Chee Platinum Seismic Gold Artemi Panarin out of 50. I love Seismic Golds. Congratulations, Professor. Ali says, what are the Beehive matte cards? Are they one variation? They're a parallel, and they're numbered out of 25 on the cards. Yes, they are. Brett S. had 14 of 15 cards paid for on his recent consignment. Very nice, Brett. Chris says, is it worth grading a green or gold PMG? Thanks, appreciate your advice. Really up to you. I would, personally. I would, and I wouldn't really care about the grade because it's a PMG. Like I'd care, but I wouldn't care at the same time, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't. Andrew Anderson says, Probstein said recently in an interview, his unpaid rate has dropped from 15% to 3% after eBay allowed certain rules for him. Not sure what that means. Jason says, the second part, but that's good to hear that the unpaid rate has come down. Jason says, for example, had a few items go unpaid in Golden once, but never had item go unpaid in REA. Okay, good stuff right there. All right, guys, so we have just under 2 minutes right now. Just have to send a message out right there briefly to you, Josh, if you don't mind addressing that for me. Okay, what's certain? I'll let you guys have that conversation. Brett S., I'm out on the McDavid doubloons. Good luck to who gets it. Very fair. 1 minute, 22 seconds left in this window, guys. We need bids on both the Ovechkin and the McDavid doubloons in order for that to happen, for them to go to the next window. Otherwise, they will be sold. We have, after this next minute, there's one more 5-minute window, and then we're into the 1 minute windows, guys. Andrew, not allowing low score bidders to bid on items, other platforms, you guys. But that said, I also don't want to compromise transparency and all that, but I certainly don't want to push people to other platforms.
I have a couple of things I could add to that. First of all, echo what you said. Secondly, you have to factor condition into, and so there you go. Got a bid. And then to, 150, now granted, this can be a little more expensive with buyer's premium, is what the last two have sold for. So it's pretty in line, I would say, with recent comps. But yeah, if one's listed for less on another platform, to really know if it's apples to apples, you'd have to do a pretty, spend time and compare the condition of raw cards.
Appreciate that, Josh. So speaking of transparency, you guys can see that I just bid on the doubloons, and I was in a rush because I realized I was running out of time. So I went on my app on my phone and I just scrolled to a bid that was higher than what it was at, and I landed at my max bid is 190. So you guys all now know that I'm willing to pay up to $190 for this card plus buyer's premium. So if you want to win this card now, you guys have the option. You can either bid $195 and win it, or you can bid me up to my max, which I'd prefer you don't do. If you're not
don't do that. Don't be mean to Jeremy.
Don't be mean and bid up to 185 unless you really want the card. But you know I'm at 190 now. When I put in the bid, I didn't realize that it was going to show my max on the screen. So, but now you guys know. If any of you guys want to hurt me for $40, go ahead. If not, I'll be grateful. 40, which would be 48 with the buyer's premium on it. Mm-hmm. Brett, thank you, Brett. By the way, it's the first. Well, you would know it's the first time I've bid on it tonight. But I was watching. I do like the card. I would want it'll come out of that holder immediately, and will be likely raw, or I'll send it to Tag and get it graded by Tag because I think it would look sick in that slab. Doghouse says, would this OV PMG sale affect the values of the Gretzky PMGs of the same year? I don't think so. Doghouse, I don't think at all. Ovechkin, the attention is on him because of what's going on with him in his career right now. I don't believe it'll have any effect on the Gretzky cards are already worth enough. So those are my thoughts anyway. Thank you very congrats. Don't congratulate me yet. Don't congratulate me yet. Professor says, I will wait and hope you win, then get one to be a card bro. Okay, Professor, thank you. And you'll probably pay less. You might pay less than I do. That's okay. Thorson says, the balloons are absolutely crazy cool looking in hand. Photos do it maybe 50% justice. Hope you get it, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for that. 2.5 minutes. I'm literally like on pins and needles here because I wasn't expecting my max bid to be shown on the screen.
Well, can I ask you something? It's like, if I'm you, I'm like, well, I'm hoping for one of two scenarios. I either want to win it at 150 or want to lose it.
Yeah.
I don't want to win it at 190.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, if I get bid up to my max, I will be suspicious that somebody watching did that on purpose. Right. But if it gets bid up, if it gets bid up to 160 or 165 or 170, I'll be okay. That's probably someone who isn't watching. But again, hopefully there's others out there for more money, and I'll just get this for that for where I'm at. But we'll see. LGC is congratulating me yet again for a card I haven't yet won. So thank you. David G says, we have your back here. I love you guys and I appreciate that. Jason says, any idea where non-jersey number 2012 OV Blues have last sold? I had 2 of them at one point. I sold both of them a while back now, about a year ago probably. I don't know where they are anymore. Mark
700 to 1,000.
What's that?
Depending on the grade. 700 to 1,000. There's like a PSA 7 sold for $850. Before that, another PSA 7 sold for $630. The last sale was a PSA 5 that sold for $950 on January 12th.
I think mine were raw. So I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay, Michael. No worries. He's apologizing for congratulating me. Hey, I'll take the congratulations, guys. So I got 47 seconds left for me to win the. It's so funny how we say win the card. I'm not winning the card, guys. I am winning the right to pay for it. That's what I am winning. Oh, there's another bid in. It's now up to 160 and it's going to the next window, the 1 minute windows. And I don't think I'm going to bid anymore. I don't think I'll bid anymore on the card. I'm going to go right now, do a little looking elsewhere to see if there's any others available. But again, sometimes I don't even care what the comps are. If there's others available, I do care more about that. I don't see any on that other big platform. I see other from the other years, unless it's because I'm with a Canadian address. Maybe I need to change. Let me change my address here to a US mailing address and see if that shows me more cards.
Well, I like that card ladder sales history, which is good, but of course not.
I'm looking for active.
Infallible. Yeah, I'm just saying,
okay.
Of a point of context, there's only 3 sales ever in card ladder sales history of that card. Pretty rare.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any more. I'm not seeing any more out there. 25 seconds right now on the 1 minute window. Other OV is still going. Chris S. Hopes I get it. Gorgeous card. Brett S. I've checked none of the other Thank you, Brett. Ali, I'm an Edmonton guy, but I'm not touching the McDavid. Why, Ali? Why aren't you touching McDavid? I'm curious. LGC. Reverse Hex, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you very much. Tampa says, I don't get into the jersey number thing and still don't really understand why it means so much to collectors. If anything, I personally would rather have the bookend of the first or last. Yeah, it's just a personal thing. You know, and like, it's fine. Like when you say you don't get it, I think you're saying the same thing as it just doesn't mean anything to you. And I think that's fair. Some people are looking for something to add a bit of rarity or exclusivity to it. And that, you know, that match is something that is just sets it apart from the others. To me, along with the bookends, I like fun serial numbers. I even like when it's like, you know, 99 of 100 for some other card, even though because it's Gretzky's number, or 87 of 100 because it's Crosby's number, or 23 out of 100 because it's Michael Jordan's number. I like those sorts of things. So yeah, I like those sorts of things. Oh, is it going to go through for me at 170, guys? No, they bid it to 180.
No.
Someone bids it to 180.
Nightmare scenario.
So what's that? So I'm still the leading. Oh, yeah, I'm still the winning bidder. Professor says, it was not your intent, but nice action at the end of the auction stream, right? Everyone's wondering what's going to happen. I'm like, okay, and the Ovechkin PMG Blue, jersey number 8/50, sells for $2,070 in a PSA 5 holder. I think there's a lot of premium there for the 8/50, and I don't mind it. You know, I'm unlike Tampa. I'm someone who I get it. I don't necessarily think that it's like so reasonable, but I still get it because can be a bit of a nerd that way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 10 seconds again. And let's see if this guy who's waiting to snipe to the final second is going to do it one more time here, or did someone just bid me up? Looks like I'm getting it for my max bid. Who out there bid me up to my max? I'm just kidding. I'm very happy to take this card at 216. Yep, very happy to take it at 216. I've been wanting one of these for quite some time, actually, so pretty cool. And I can pair it with my doubloons, which I happen to have right here from, I think, the same year. Oh, I can't even read the year on these things. They are so small. Pull out my trusty loop and read the year that way. Yep, 20. Oh, no, this is 2021. Did doubloons debut in 2022, Josh?
Yeah.
So I got the first year 16-bit McDavid. Now I got the first year doubloons McDavid to pair with it. And that will most likely make its way into a tag grading holder because I think they look nice. Thank you, Brett S. Thank you, Tampa. Thank you, Jeff McMahon. And thank you, Cardfucius. And thank you, Brett S. Yes, first year doubloons, a beauty, right? Yeah, I'm very happy. I think I stole it. I think that card, based on the rarity, is a steal. I don't know. Personally, I think it's a steal. So very happy. Very, very happy with it. Thank you, guys. If you didn't bid me up, to those of you that didn't bid me up, thank you very much. And those of you that did, that's okay too. Still happy with what I paid. Yeah.
At the end of the day, comps aren't an absolute, right? And sometimes you gotta, when it's a card that's rare, especially now if it's a base Young Guns and they were selling for 150 and you bought it for 216, I'd say, Jeremy, you could have gotten one every 3 minutes and saved yourself $70. But like I said, this is the fourth total sale in Card Ladder sales history. So, you know, might not be 2 years before the next one comes up.
So it's a rare card. I mean, if it is truly 1 in 16,000 to hit this card, I don't know what that makes the print run, but it's got to under 50. I would have to think is my guess, but I really have no idea. Thank you, Laura. Sundin, put that doubloons in a cloudy BGS slab. You know I'm not going to do that. Professor says, great strategy. I'm curious, Professor, what was my strategy? What was my I don't even know what it was. Was my strategy to disclose to the whole world what my max bid was? Because that's a bad strategy.
It made the auction fun. I think you should do this every week.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, thank you, Mark Santucci. Tampa, is the McDavid something you plan on grading if it comes clean? Yeah, like I said, if I grade it, only with Tag. It's the only company that I will submit cards to for grading because it's, I just want accurate, consistent grading personally. But that said, yeah, I likely will. No rush. I'm in no rush to do it. As you see, my 16-bit isn't graded right now, so I might just put them in one touches and be done with it too. We'll see. Brett says, I believe when people catch on, doubloons will be desirable, particularly the first version of the player. Yeah, that's very important to me that it's the first year. That's why I was a little bit nervous. Josh, is that the first year? Yeah, I really don't have any interest in the second year of them, even though they're very nice as well. Doghouse is saying, great pickup, Jeremy. Congrats. Hope you all have a great Monday night or a great night. Look forward to the Monday morning Gong Show episode. Cheers. Thank you, Doghouse. Appreciate that. LGC, congrats. Do your kids watch Jake and the Neverland Pirates? Tell them you collected a gold doubloons. I don't think they do, but I will. And Jason says, don't see any other copies of that card for sale. Now, you don't want to talk about other platforms, but not sure that comment was accurate. Anyway, yeah, right on, Jason. I think you're right. All right, guys. I think we're good. Josh, you good?
I'm good. All
right. Well, everybody, second best 97 in the league to Kaprizov. I love it.
There you go.
Cardfucius says, second year McDavid sold for 150. That's a good win. Yeah. Thank you, Cardfucius. All right, guys in the chat, thank you so much. Appreciate if you did use the SCL affiliate link when making bids or paying for your cards that you're winning on Fanatics Collect. I greatly appreciate that. By the way, no episode of this next Sunday, everybody. No episode next Sunday. I will be traveling in Winnipeg at the Dakota show. If you happen to be in Winnipeg, come see me there. I will be there. Looking forward to having some fun and checking out, going home to Winnipeg where I lived 25 years ago and checking out the card show scene there. So that's probably the first time I've told you that too, Josh, but we will be back the week after that and the week after that and probably every week until the Sport Card Expo in Toronto. Thank you very much, Brett S. Thorson will be at the Winnipeg show. I will see you there, buddy. I will see you there. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you. All right. Josh, anything you'd like to mention? You got an episode dropping in a few hours.
Yep, 3 a.m. And then Phil and I are going to open up a case of OPG on release day starting at 11 Central on Wednesday morning, too. So Phil opening an entire case will be fairly comical. I think that's a safe bet.
That's going to take a while, but that'll be fun. That'll be a fun hangout. That'll just be a fun place to hang out, guys. Watch the Gong Show channel for that so you can make sure you don't miss it. Mark Santucci, thank you very much. Ali, thank you very much. Good night. Laura, always great to see you in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us and spending your time with us. That goes out to everybody. We appreciate you guys. With that, good night. Let's enjoy the rest of the Four Nations tournament this week, everybody. Have a great week ahead. This episode of the Fanatics Collect weekly hockey auction ending watch party for February the 16th, 2025 is now. He's looking at the camera.
Bye, guys.
Over.
Bye, guys.
Good night, guys.